Hello, listeners. This is part two of a two-part Bravo Weekly News episode. So if you are looking for part one, please just check back in your feed. In part one, I cover The Valley, Vanderpump Rules, Summer House, and Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And in this part two episode, I'm covering Real Housewives of Orange County, Real Housewives of Atlanta, Real Housewives of Miami, and some just general Bravo news as well that's been making headlines, and actually some non-Bravo news, because there's a couple things about just a couple pieces at the end about secret lives of Mormon wives and of U Island, U Island, Love Island, USA. Okay, everyone, enjoy today's episode. Welcome to the Bravo Papers, a safe space for all us Bravo fans who love to analyze, deconstruct, and talk about our favorite Bravo shows ad nauseum. So join me, Bravo and Botox, and we'll catch up on all the Bravo news and read way too much into our favorite shows and Bravo celebrities. Okay, everyone, let's get into part two. I think what we should do is start with some Real Housewives of Orange County news because we do have a few things from there this week. So let's start with Shannon because actually we'll end with Shannon too. We'll start and end with Shannon. Shannon did an interview with Bryce Sander. I believe this is with Entertainment Tonight. Yes. And she had a few interesting little tidbits to share, which I will relay to you. She says she wants us all, as in the audience, to just wait and we'll see things about Katie that we don't know. Ooh. She also says that she was completely blindsided by Katie this season. She says that Katie can always explain things away, but there was no way for her to explain what she did to Shannon. Okay. That's that's a big statement. I mean, I have to be wary of things like this because there's been so many seasons where a housewife or whoever on one of these shows is like, "Oh, just wait for it to play out and you're going to see that I'm right." And then we wait and it plays out and we're like, "Yeah, that didn't help your case. Like I'm still not on your side." And I think we've all been a little traumatized by that because that was especially true with season 11 of Vanderpump Rules. So I think we're all cautious. So I will wait if things come out and I enjoy Shannon as well. You know, I do think that she is a dysfunctional person, but I generally think that's what I'm looking for when it comes to housewives is dysfunctional people. But that's why I can't trust her fully when she talks about this because I have to see it, okay? For now I'm team Katie. Based on just the first episode against, with Katie going up against like Emily and Gina or whatever, and definitely on Katie's side when it comes to Heather Dubrow. I can't stand Heather Dubrow. Again, I enjoy Heather Dubrow as far as like I don't want her off the show because I enjoy her on the show. I do. I think she's a delusional, pretentious housewife, which you need one of those, right? So, I'm not against it in that sense, but I don't as a person, I'm not a fan of Heather Dubrow. So yeah, I'm definitely on Katie's side for that. Not saying that Katie hasn't made mistakes. I think she's already made mistakes first episode. I think she made mistakes last season, but I still like her. I'm still enjoying her, and I don't want them to. I just don't want to see them bullying her off the show. That's what I don't need to see this season. I'm not here for that. I want no part of that. Don't show that to me. Okay. Now, other things that Shannon said, she said she does not see a place for Katie in the group moving forward. Wow. That's a big statement. Like, this is only her second season. Here's the other thing. Katie is the second woman of color who's come on this show. has been disliked by specifically Heather, and then the whole group turns against them, and it's like, and now she's gonna get kicked off the show too. Like, I don't know. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth. And I like Katie. Noella was annoying. Noella was like very inauthentic a lot of the time. Like, remember when she did that whole like fake crying thing by the stream? But that being said, I think Noella actually would have done well with a second season. I think she would have kind of taken the feedback about trying too hard, and I think she would have actually had a good second season. But again, we'll never know. And that was when Heather was kind of like running the show, quote unquote, but she's not as much now. So I am glad to see that they gave Katie at least a second season. But if they cut her after this season, unless there's like really good reason and she has like a terrible season, and I mean not a terrible season in the sense of like a lot of people weren't on her side, people took Shannon's side, like that's not good enough. It has to be like, it can't just be that she was like the villain. Because if she's a good villain, we need villains too. So, I don't know. We'll see. But I do understand there can be situations where someone doesn't fit in with the friend group anymore. So it's like, how do you function in that sense? But I don't know. To me, the cast is pretty good right now as it is. I don't know if I need Emily around. Like Gina, I can deal with for now. But Gina, I enjoy. Gina, I kind of enjoy like I don't know how to say this without it sounding really mean. I kind of enjoy like making fun of Gina, but like in like about like stupid things. Like I love like she's in on the joke too about like her working at Chili's and all that, like how everyone on Twitter likes to make jokes about the casita and stuff like that. And she did like a TikTok video or something about what people refer to her as, and clearly she's in on the joke now, which I think is cool. But I think we kind of enjoy and sort of root for Gina. Like we root, she's kind of like an underdog, like financially, and we were kind of like rooting for her to like come up in the world. But she also pisses me off a lot. So, there's that too. It's tough to say. But yeah, Emily I could maybe do without. She's become very annoying. The last season at the reunion. Oh my god, she was so annoying. Okay. So that I think that was that everything from Shannon? No, she had a couple other things. So she also said that coming into the season, she felt closest with Emily, Gina, and Jen. She said that she did even share a hug with Tamara this season. I don't know if you want to be bragging about that, Shannon, but okay. She also says she intended to have a conversation with Tamara, but held off out of respect since Tamara was dealing with a lot due to Teddy's cancer, and basically refers to Tamara as a work friend. Okay. So I think, that is her way of saying like we're friends on the show because we kind of have to be, but like I don't like her, or like if it wasn't for the show, we wouldn't be talking and we wouldn't be friends. And I think that's fair. I understand that like to a point, you have to kind of make good with the situation that you're given. And I do understand that like you don't have to like everyone you work with, but you do have to work with them. And I do respect the fact that Shannon goes into these things with sort of like the attitude of like, well, I'm not going to like quit the show or be like, if she's on this show, I'm not coming back. She's not going to not invite her. She's not going to refuse to film with her. And, I think a lot of that is from how long she's been around on this show, because that does come with like understanding how this works, which is that even when you're mad at someone, sometimes you do have to film it. Like you cannot invite them in certain situations. Yes. We saw that with Alexis last year, but Alexis wasn't even a full-time cast member. But you do, to a point, have to make it work in a lot of situations. Even if it is Tamara Judge, who's, the worst. Okay, so what else we got today? We have some Real Housewives of Atlanta news. The first piece of news from Atlanta is so cringe, but I have to share it because of that. So Britt Eady decided to post this like video, you know, image reel of her in this gown that is obviously what she is at least claiming that she would have worn to the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion, which she actually skipped. Okay. So she posts these pictures in this like gold dress. Like the theme was yellow, kind of palette. But yeah, you could wear like a gold like this. It would have gone with the palette. But she posts a series of pictures. There was also like a real video of her like just kind of like standing in the dress and like looking off into the distance and, giving like sexy eyes to the camera. But she says, as I close this chapter, I want to thank everyone who supported me, my friends, my followers, my amazing team. Do you mean Kelly's team? No, I'm just joking. And everyone who defended my name. I decided to walk away from something that no longer serves me because I choose peace over destroying my mental. I think she means mental health. Forgot to put the health in. It's very easy to say what I should have done when most have not walked a day in my shoes. I choose me, and a lot of people can't say they choose themselves. I still have a lot of healing left to do, but you can't heal in the same place that made you sick. I don't owe anyone closure. I only owe myself to do what's best for me. My journey here is done. Brit with like kissy lipstick, emoji. Okay, here's the thing. It's not First of all, the dress is beautiful. She looks beautiful. Okay? Second though, it's not like a flex to post this dress and you in this dress when you didn't show up to the reunion. It is also so embarrassing and cringy to be like, this is what I would have worn. It's like you're just reminding everyone that you didn't go, and you're also kind of reminding everyone that really all it seems like you want is the positive parts of being a housewife. Like you want like the glam, the fun outfit, the photo shoot, but like you don't want to deal with any of the difficult conversations, any of the negativity from fans or from your castmates. You don't want to answer or take accountability. Like this is just not doing what Brit thinks it's doing. And it's also, to me, it's not showing closure. Like you could have if you were really closing this chapter, you could have closed it like the day after you quit and filed the lawsuit, which she didn't officially file because apparently she didn't pay for it properly, etc. So that's a whole other story. But the fact that you're posting this, the reunion just aired, okay? The first part of the reunion, and then she posted this. It's giving I'm jealous not I'm jealous. It's giving regret. It's giving I regret not going. Because she knows if she was going, she could have, like, she's probably watching Kelly and the rest of them talking about her. She could have clapped back. She could have said her piece. She could have given her side of the story. She could have shown off her dress. There's a lot of fashion mistakes. I don't know what else to call it at this reunion as well. So she's probably wants to show everyone, like, look, guys, I would have been the best dressed. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. You didn't come to the reunion. And she's driving me crazy because I've never seen a housewife who has voluntarily quit, filed a lawsuit, and then made so many active comments on social media about what is currently happening on the show. All things that could have been said at the reunion. It's like, why didn't you just go? Like, just, I guess she feels like she couldn't have filed the lawsuit. I don't know. She could have gone to the reunion, fulfilled that part of her contract, and then sued. I don't know, whatever. Like, clearly, I think she jumped, if I'm going to be honest, I think she jumped ship a little early. I think she jumped ship when things were peak I hate Brit. But I actually think if she had stayed, she would have had, not me, but she would have had more of the audience on her side, because there were some people that were starting to kind of like see her side more about certain things. Like I think more people saw her side about like they understood that, Kelly was being maybe a little bit jealous about that about the stylist thing. I think there were more people who believed her over Shamia when it came to like talking shit about Portia. Like I think people were like, yeah, call it out. So I do think she would have had more support than she did at the time that she quit. Like, I think if she had just waited for the season to fully air. Now, the abortion thing didn't help. That was really gross. So maybe not, but I still think this was a huge mistake, and I think that her post shows that she sees that it was too. Okay. In other news, one big thing that came up at the reunion was, did Shamia set up Portia and Simon? So this became a point of discussion. And Shamia's like, I never said I set them up. I never said I set them up. And was it Angela? I think it was Angela. And Angela was like, yeah, you said that. Like, you said that you set them up. And then Shamia's like, I never said that. And then Andy asks Portia, and he's like, did you say that? Or did she set you guys up? Did she set you and Simon up? And Portia just sits there in silence for like a long pause. And Andy's like, well, he even is like, that was a long pause. Like, what's going on? And then she's like, I, she's like, no. Like, it's just the word. It's like, you could tell she's lying, but she's like not sure if she should lie or not. Like, she doesn't know it. She's like, wait, is this even worth lying about? Like, like the backlash that I might get. Um, so yeah, that aired on the reunion. And, my reaction was, okay, she's obviously lying. Like, it's just so fucking obvious that she's lying. Like, even like Andy and like everyone was like, what the hell? So then people, of course, internet sleuths pulled up some receipts, and basically there is a post where Portia posted a picture of her with Simon, and it says, I'm a stick beside him with like, a smiley face with hearts. And then Shamia replied and said, up and mother lovin' stuck with a heart. And then Portia replies to that and says, at Shamia Morton, thank you, bestie. Best matchmaker ever. Okay. So yeah, I think that kind of I think that kind of proves it. And and then there's this video as well that people found, and it's like Shamia filming Simon and Portia all like lovey, and it just looks very much like she was kind of support. And here's the thing, it's like, now that I think Shamia is on the show and is seeing that like people are never going to stop kind of side-eyeing the way that Simon and Portia started, it's like she doesn't want to be associated with that because that makes her like an accomplice to the affair or whatever it was, right? So yeah, like Shamia, I don't know, she's annoying me this season. Like, I could see her side with some of her stuff with Portia, but then even when it comes to like her going against Portia, she's like just not good at it. I don't know. Okay. Now, let's go to some news about Angela and Charles, because there's this interview with Charles Oakley where he says he must have been on something. More specifically, someone must have put something in his drink when he married Angela, and that it wasn't like a planned wedding. They just did it. Ooh. Liz, I don't know. Like, even if that's true, do you have to say that? And like the whole someone put something in my drink, like, it's just so, I just feel like, as funny and grumpy as he is, the amount of like disrespect, it's just not cool. So then Angela gets on a, like a video with Charles, and she's doing damage control and basically says he was just trying to be funny when he answered the question about why he married her. And she's holding the camera and he's saying it. It almost looks like a hostage situation. I'm obviously joking, but she's like, you better say this right now because you embarrass me, which like I can understand. I'd probably do the same thing, but it's also kind of giving like, you know, it is giving like, okay, I'm forcing him to say this. And it's like, if your husband's not saying these things kind of on his own or naturally, like, it doesn't look good, and it's also just kind of like it sort of shows that there's something wrong. Like, if your husband is saying so many kind of disrespectful things that you're having to like make a video to like explain them, and like constantly making excuses, like even when she's been on Watch What Happens Live, it's not really a good sign. Let's just be honest. Okay. Now the other piece of news from this cast is that Kelly Farrell apparently admits that she owes $100,000 in unpaid rent. She says this is due to divorce expenses. What about the dog expenses? Like, to me, the rent is like the first thing you pay. Like, the rent is like the base thing, the roof over your head. It's like that and food. Those are the only two things that you could kind of like just say I have like $100 left. Do I pay whatever? Maybe it's like, do I pay for like, okay, maybe it's like bills, like to keep the heat on and to keep the electricity and then rent. Like those things are at the very, so that's why it's hard for me when I see a story like this, because it's like Kelly is spending so much money on, like, I don't know, it seems like designer stuff. Clearly, like a full, like, I don't know who, some people think they are with these huge glam teams. Like, it annoys me that Erica Jane even started all this. But I think what people need to remember is that Erica Jane started all this and it was not her money. Like it's not normal to spend all this money on glam for like every episode of Real Housewives of whatever, no matter what the franchise is. Like it's just crazy. And like I understand you're on a TV show, you want to look good. I get that. But like the stylist, like the whole team, it's like you shouldn't really like it, just let us see your lives. Like I think a lot of us don't care. At least I don't. Like I enjoyed like I remember the New York cast, they never had teams. When Atlanta and any other show started, there weren't like glam teams. Like I don't know. Like I understand it's 2025, it's a different time, but again, and this is why I still hold a grudge because I think Erica Jane really started this trend and I hate it. But I miss the days when like they didn't all have glam teams, and it is a waste of money. So it's like, are you not paying your rent because you need to pay a stylist? And I don't know who your stylist was, but they didn't do a great job this season. I mean, God, her reunion outfit is terrible. Not to mention, like, this is if you are not able to pay your rent and you're doing this, you're doing spas for your dog. Like, it's just like, let's get the priorities straight, okay? Okay. Last piece of news from Atlanta is that and other of you who do not even watch Atlanta, you might remember Ava from Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip. But Ava Marcel is apparently reconciling with her ex-husband, Michael Sterling, 2 years after they got divorced. So I think like a lot of us watched her. She was like just kind of new-ish married to him on Atlanta, pregnant with his child, all that kind of stuff. And like she spoke so highly of him. They seemed to have such a good relationship. So, they did get divorced. And I believe it was because of infidelity, if I remember correctly. But yeah, 2 years later, they're back together. So that's pretty crazy. And I remember I saw this on her social media. She like posted a picture with him and said, it was like, she's saying something about being in love. And I saw the picture and I was like, wait a minute, is that Michael? Like, is that her ex who she's back with? Like, I remember too that she was coming out of a situation with like an ex who was like a domestic violence situation and it was really serious. And like even to the point that like he may have been like stalking her and all this stuff. So, I do remember that Michael was like a good support for her at that time. Now, again, by the way, with the cheating stuff, like she never said, as far as I know, that he cheated, but there was kind of like hinting at that maybe. And it wasn't spoken about like in the divorce filings or anything like that. But is it possible? Yes, I feel like I remember her posting something that may have hinted at that or something like that, but I could be wrong because it was over 2 years ago. But yeah, so they are apparently back together. So I guess we will see how that goes. Time will tell. I mean, listen, the stories exist. I have heard stories of people who've been divorced and have literally gotten remarried, and for whatever reason, it works better the second time. I don't know. That could be the case. I think more times, I think 9 times out of 10, you get back together and then you kind of remember why you split up in the first place. So I don't know. I don't know. Time shall tell. Okay. Okay. Next up is Real Housewives of Miami. So there's been this whole rumor going around about the new housewife, Stephanie. So Stephanie is, she's come in the show. She's kind of come in guns blazing, going for Lisa specifically. But allegedly, and again, this is just word on the street, this is not like verified facts. She was her current husband, his name is Masood. She was allegedly his mistress and broke up his first marriage. Masood's daughters from the first marriage are pissed and suing him for $13 million of unauthorized company funds used to pay for his and Stephanie's lavish lifestyle. So allegedly, she worked for him, and that was how they met and kind of started the affair. And then it's kind of like, people say that he left his wife and also his kids, and, they don't speak with them. And he just kind of like went with Steph. Now, Stephanie has reacted to this and she did kind of like an ask me anything on Instagram. And she says that this is false, that it is a rumor. He has an ex who he divorced from, but he did not leave them for her. And that, all the stuff about the daughter suing them is bullshit. And basically debunked it. Now, that doesn't mean that it's necessarily not true. Listen, she's on Housewives now. Once you're on Housewives, you're going to be asked questions like this, especially when you're, married to like a way, way older man and he has an ex-wife and grown daughters and all that kind of stuff. And time will, if this is true, we'll see. Time will tell. Just like I said with the last one, time will tell. Meanwhile, Real Housewives of Miami. Oh, sorry. Actually, I want to talk about one more thing about Stephanie. She was on Watch What Happens Live and she said that she watched the scene between Julia and Gertie. And her thought was, why does Gertie want to hold grudges? Okay, that's an interesting thought because I'm being facetious, by the way, because I I don't think Gertie wants to hold grudges. I think Julia is like, if we're being real, like Julia's the one who held the grudge about the phone call, which again, was not done maliciously and turned it and spun it into this whole other big thing that it didn't need to do. And also, if Gertie wants to still be upset because she had water thrown on her, you're allowed to. If there's something physical happens, it's not the same as just a verbal argument. So if somebody does something physically to you, you are allowed to have more time to before you fully forgive the person. And that's all she was saying. So I don't, it is clear that Stephanie is, team Julia. And I have a feeling that they knew each other. I just do. Because in the first episode with Stephanie, and I put this in my Twitter roundup, the two of them are meeting and Stephanie's like, "It's so nice to meet you." And Julia's just like smiling and nodding. And it's so weird. I remember I'm like, why is she reacting like this? Like, it's very strange. And now I'm like, maybe they knew each other because they seem like so close and like such fast friends based on like really nothing that we've seen. So I'm kind of like, you guys were friends before, weren't you? Like, and for some reason they didn't bring you in as Julia's friend. I don't know why, but that kind of seems like that's the case, in my opinion. But anyways, it just made my ears perk up. And for Real Housewives of Miami viewers, there is no need to panic, okay? Because the show has already been renewed for season 8, averaging 1.5 million weekly viewers on streaming. Exactly. People need to stop with the whole live ratings thing. Live ratings, they do count. I'm not saying they don't count, but nowadays, with the way that we all watch TV, the majority of us do not watch things live. And the networks, etc., they are looking at other things. They look at the live ratings, but they're also looking at the streaming, and that matters just as much. Look at like Netflix shows. They don't even have live ratings, right? And they're also looking at like online chatter and how much people are talking about the show. Like all of that stuff matters. So, I do love that they had to put this out into the press to calm us all down. That is how that is how much we Miami fans love this show. Like we are like, please tell me it's not getting canceled. Like we see the ratings and we all start having panic attacks. And Bravo was like, we have to reassure these people and shut them up because they're all crazy. And thank you. We needed that. We really needed a little love and tender care, okay? Because we care about this show because it is just that good. Meanwhile, Martina, as in Julia's wife, decided to I don't know why she does this. She likes to tweet. She likes to tweet her opinions about things. And she's definitely tweeted a lot of anti-trans stuff in the past, and now she's coming after surrogacy. So Martina decided to post surrogacy is just wrong. Sometimes you can't have it all. That's a choice. Okay. I don't know why you would tweet that. Like, why do you is someone forcing you to be a surrogate, Martina? I wouldn't assume so. Has Julia told you she's decided she wants to be a full-time surrogate? Like, how does this impact you? That's my question. Why do you care? This is not your business. Like, it's one of those things where I'm like, you don't have to have an opinion on everything. And there are some things that may not be for you personally, but they can be for other people. Okay? And it's just so offensive and rude, and just the list goes on and on. Okay. I do not like this tweet. Um, let's also remember that Andy Cohen used a surrogate. Andy, as in Julia's boss, who is currently paying, you know, he's not paying from his pocket, but Bravo is currently paying Martina and Julia's income. So maybe you don't want to bite the hand that feeds you with these stupid fucking comments. Um, so at Bywig Hello Drama, who, sorry, on X, she's at No Smoke No More, if you want to follow her on X. On Instagram, Bywig Hello Drama, she retweeted this talking about, Andy used a surrogate. Surrogacy is an extension of reproductive freedom and personal autonomy, helping people build families while respecting the surrogate's choice to help. Totally agree. Great tweet. Soon after she wrote this above Martina's tweet with a picture of Andy and his two kids. Soon after this, not Andy, sorry. Soon after this, Martina deleted her tweet. So I guess she couldn't take the heat because she was getting a lot of it and she deserved it. But yeah, she deleted her tweet. I mean, someone needs to take Martina's phone away, needs to take her social media away. It's just like, nobody asked for your opinion. How about that? Okay. I'm so done with Martina and Julia on the show too. Like, they just seem miserable. Like, they don't seem like light and fun. They just seem, which they did kind of when they first started. Now they just seem like miserable and out of touch. You know what I mean? Like, they seem out of touch with like reality in some ways. I don't know. They're annoying. I'm good with them. Anyways, okay, next, what do we got? Let's talk about some kind of, just general reality TV slash Bravo news. The first is in regards to Real Housewives of Rhode Island. There is a rumor, I think it is confirmed, that Ashley Iaconetti, now she changed her last name because she's married. I'm not sure how to say his last name. Haben, I think, is known is sorry gonna be one of the Real Housewives of Rhode Island. She is known for her time on ABC's The Bachelor, Bachelor in Paradise, and Bachelor Winter Games. She's also worked as a correspondent for Access Hollywood and Clever TV, and has been a contributor for Cosmopolitan. um so listen, this is a rumor I'm seeing. I don't know if it is confirmed, but what I will say is that I remember I used to be a big Bachelor person, like way back. I stopped watching it like, I think like 2019-ish. I stopped watching like 2019, around there. But I used to be big into it. I used to watch like Bachelor in Paradise, all that kind of stuff. But it just got to be not, I don't know, I just stopped liking it. Like, I was just like, I think I also like got more into Bravo, and it's just like you can't even compare to Bravo. So yeah, so I was deep into it though during her days. I remember. And she married this guy Jared. I think it was Jared. Um and she, you know, she wanted him so bad. And it was like this story of like this girl who wanted a guy, but he wasn't interested. And so she just, kind of like was like, okay, we'll just be friends. And they were friends for like years and years. And then it was like one day he just decided, okay, yeah, I do actually like you. And it was like she got, and she was like, girls, see, it's a lesson. Just be persistent. And I was like, that is the worst lesson. If a guy doesn't like you, he's not going to all of a sudden start to. This is a rare case. Okay, Ashley, like, and I don't remember why I didn't like her. I really don't. I remember my last thoughts and feelings about her and Jared were that I just found them annoying and I didn't like it, but I can't really remember why. So, I'm open to it. Let's see. I am a little wary of like somebody from like the Bachelor world moving like over to Bravo, but I don't know. Who knows? It could work. I remember she had a pretty like out there personality, so that's good. Like she has a big personality. She's not like a wallflower or something. Um, in other news, in non-Bravo shows, but shows that a lot of us watch, we have some Love Island and Secret Lives of Mormon Wives news. So for Love Island, there is Love Island US season 7, there's going to be a reunion. I have not been covering the news for Love Island because I just started watching it like literally like, I don't know, less than 2 weeks ago. And I caught up, guys. That's how sad I am. I caught up. I do really like it, but I'm not going to be like covering it or talking about it or tweeting like nothing because honestly, for my own mental health, I need a show that is for me. Like a show that's not like work that I have. Like every show I watch is like, I'm like, all right, I can't even just sit and watch. I have to take notes. Like, you know what I mean? And it has been incredibly fun and enjoyable to just watch the show and, read people's tweets sometimes if I feel like it or not. Like it has been kind of nice. So I've been kind of like keeping it on the DL, but I did watch this season. So yeah, we're going to have a reunion, but it's not till August 24th or 25th, something like that. So don't hold your breath because you got a while to wait. I think it'll be a good reunion though. I think this is a good cast for a reunion. Meanwhile, The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives has been nominated for an Emmy. Ooh, for best non-scripted show or, whatever that category is. So good for them. Listen, with the popularity, the way that they've skyrocketed, I'm really, really not surprised. Not surprised at all that, they're getting this kind of shout out and accolade. And even the nomination, I think, is good. I hope that they get it. I hope that a show besides like, the quote unquote like classier reality shows, like I don't even remember which ones they give it to, like travel ones and food. Like give it to one of our messy shows, okay? Following people's drama and their messiness and their lives and capturing that and that is something, okay? It is more than it's more than cooking with a film with someone filming it. It's so much more. Okay, let us see it. We want to see an award for one of our messy, messy shows. That is me. In case for some reason someone on the Emmy board is listening, which they're not. But that's me giving my plea out into the universe. Okay, everyone, that's all we got for part 2. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you missed part 1, where I talk about the Valley / Vanderpump Rules, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Summer House, go back to your feed and find it. It is there. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. You're now in the know for everything Bravo. See you next time. Bye. Thanks for listening, everyone. Your support really means everything to me. And this show wouldn't be possible without you, the listeners. So please, if you enjoyed the podcast, leave a 5-star rating and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. For more, you can join my Patreon, patreon.com/Bravo and And for $5 a month, you'll get 4 extra podcast episodes a month. You'll also get early releases of Bravo Paper episodes and more. Please also subscribe to my YouTube channel @The Bravo Papers and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, @Bravo and Botox and @The Bravo Papers. If you'd like to buy me a coffee, you can at buymeacoffee.com/Bravo and Botox. You know, send your love through some much needed caffeine. And any guest that was on today's episode will be in the show notes, all their social media and contact information. So thank you so much, everyone. Keep overanalyzing Bravo.